I know I'm the crazy conspiracy guy. I get it. I'm gonna try and keep it together for this one. I think we might have found him. I think we might have found the time traveler. And if you haven't seen this video yet, this guy down here goes into a shed and disappears. And then the next day, this guy walks out of the shed. When I first saw this video, I thought it was just fake. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was some sort of skit. So much so that I stitched it with like a silly little I'm a time traveler thing. But I've gone through it, and I can't figure it out. If it is a hoax, it's done well. But I also kind of think it's possible that there's a portal in the guy's shed. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but have you seen the show 11/22/63?
I need you to go in this closet, take a look around, then I'll tell you everything. That was 1960.
I always liked that show, but it always bothered me that the time portal was in a pantry in a diner. Like, wouldn't they have figured that out when they built the pantry? But I guess, like, they're maybe, I don't know. But it's like the same principle as what happened to the gentleman in the shed. Like, he went in as, like, what, mid to late 20s, came out early to mid 60s, so he might have spent 40 years in there, like, well, in the past. And he's wearing modern clothes, so he could have brought, like, his backpack could have had a change of clothes in it for when he came back to the future. But what did he change? Because let's say he went back to 1960, spent 40 years, then he would have come back in 2000, like come back to 2024 in 2000. But I'm convinced that it's the same guy, because unless they're just really closely related, they have the same walk, the same mannerisms, the same facial structure. I don't know, I think it's pretty close. So if he's from this timeline, if he comes back to 2024, somebody's got to recognize him. Like, I mean, it's not the clearest picture, but somebody has to know who he is. But we also have to start looking in the past. Like, he couldn't have left no footprint. There has to be a picture of him or a story about him or something. Like, he can't have just done nothing for 30 or 40 years. There's got to be something history-wise that proves he was there. Start in Florida. That's where the guy's Airbnb is. But anyway, internet, do your thing. Come on, guys. We need to find this guy. We just need to find him and ask him some questions. That's all we need to do. Also, can somebody find out where that Airbnb is, where the shed is located? Because, want to try something. Somebody did a reverse image search on the old time traveler that came out of the shed. I just woke up. And, I think we found him. So this is the guy that came out of the shed. And I think he looks a lot like this guy, who's got a Quora profile asking questions about time travel. He asks a few questions about time travel. And he's a Harvard graduate, that lives in New Mexico. So I asked him on Quora, if he's a time traveler. I don't think I'll get a response, unfortunately. He died. A couple years ago. Or did he? He probably did. I don't know. Interdimensional travel's weird. I'm gonna get exactly 0 work done at work today, because I'm gonna need to know everything about Stephen A. Miller. I should just call off and be like, I need to research time travel. I gotta stalk a dead guy because time travel, and that's why I'm not coming to work today. Sounds reasonable. Feels way more important. Alright, it's lunchtime, so it's time for an update on the time traveler, the shed traveler. Time-traveling shed man. We gotta come up with a name for him. If you saw my post from this morning, I'm not 100% convinced that it's Stephen Albert Miller. Even though he does look like the guy, you can't really go by looks, but, I mean, every little bit of research I do on him kind of, check it out. So here's a kid that went in the shed next to the guy that came out of the shed the next day. And when you search the image, it looks like this guy, Stephen Albert Miller. And that's his picture from Quora, where he asks questions about time travel. And he's got some interesting connections on Quora, but also on LinkedIn. I also found an obituary for Stephen Albert Miller from 2018, July of 2018, and there was only one person that posted like a little tribute on the funeral website. And there it is right there. So I searched that person in the Book of Faces, found another tribute, but this one is dated 2017, saying that he died in 2018. Now, the math ain't mathin' on that. But Steve also had a design, like a graphic design website, and there's a very in-depth interview with him. He's very interested in sound, like frequencies and resonance, and metaphysical transference of consciousness. It's very, I'm not going to talk too much about that because it's very technical, and I gotta put some time into it. But the shed is located in Florida somewhere. I'm not gonna dox the guy, but Steve also has a previous address of Sarasota, Florida. And on like the obituary website and public records, he's also got like a few like family members, but it didn't seem like they were very close. They didn't even say nothing on his, funeral page. But also, it doesn't say that there was a funeral. It says celebration of life. And that, usually in my experience in that case, they didn't have a body. But I would actually have to talk to somebody to know that. I'm a little hesitant to start contacting people yet. Because, that's rude. I don't want to just start blowing people up, being like, hey, your, distant relative that died in 2018, you never found his body. Is he a time traveler? That's a recipe for a restraining order right there. So I'm going to be as respectful as I can for now and just creep on them. Yeah. But also, some of them are located in New Jersey, and I'm in PA, so, I don't want to drive to New Jersey. You know why the tolls are coming out of New Jersey? It's because no one would ever pay to get in. I hate Jersey. But anyway, I'm not 100% convinced that it's him. It's just... It seems like it is. How old would he have been? He would have been 76. The guy that came out of the shed could be 76. Alright, let's say the guy that went into the shed was 30 years old. Stephen Albert Miller's birthday is 1949. 30 years plus 1949 is 1979. 1979 to 1980 whatever is when all of the time travel stuff kind of converges with movies and Montauk Project and all, a bunch of stuff. So that correlates too. I'm not 100% convinced yet. I need something more than circumstantial. I'm working on it. Let's talk about Master Sheddler. It's from somebody suggested that in the comments. I like it. A couple people said that Master Sheddler, can't say it without laughing, looks a little bit like Stephen King. Stephen King, Master Sheddler. I don't know, kinda. But somebody else pointed out that Stephen King's got a new book out called Fairy Tale that involves a shed that's a portal to a different realm or reality.
My problem, and I'm sure many writers have it, not just newbies like me, is deciding where to start. My first thought was with the shed.
And in this realm that the character goes to, there's a fountain of youth. Old, young guy goes in, old guy comes out. But then I started thinking, and I'm not the first person to ask this question, but how does Stephen King get the ideas for all these stories and books and movies and everything? Could it be He has a way to travel through dimensions or portals to a different reality, has experiences in those different realms, comes back, and writes about it. Now, I'm not saying this is happening. It's obviously just for entertainment purposes only, but could he be manifesting our reality with his books? And if so, which ones? Like Under the Dome? Anybody remember Malaysia Flight 370? Huh. Maybe you should go watch Langoliers again. Or what about Maximum Overdrive? Like, I don't have a bazooka to take out an 18-wheeler. Like, what if the machines are actually being run by AI, and it's about AI taking over, and not a comet that passes by? Emilio! I want to talk to you a question, Mr. Estevez. Or Cell. I'm down with this one, actually. Or Mr. Harrigan's phone. I feel like he just ripped off Death Note with this one. I mean, decent flick, though. So, is it even plausible that Stephen King either has a way to look into alternate realities, or travel to, or spend time in parallel universes, alternate realities, whatever, and then comes back to this reality and then writes about it? Because, I mean, like, character structure and everything, I mean, it takes him I can't read Stephen King because it takes him so friggin' long to get to the point, kind of like this video. But I feel like if our reality is being manifested by an author writing a book, it's probably not Stephen King, it's probably somebody more like George R.R. Martin. Because, like, do the dragons ever actually show up, or are we just supposed to sit around and wait and then someday we'll die? I feel like I should probably just go outside for a little bit. Thinking about this too long. Okay, bye!